Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining our webinar introducing SonarQube MCP Server. Bring code quality and security into your AI workflow. If you've joined any of our previous webinars, hello again and welcome back. And today we will be asking, as AI tools accelerate our coding, how do we solve the engineering productivity paradox, eliminating that new verification bottleneck, and bring code quality and security directly into the AI-assisted workflow? I'm Andrew, and I'll be your moderator today. And I'm excited to have Manish Kapoor and Prasenjit Sarkar with us today as presenters. So just before we begin, I just want to go over a couple of bits of housekeeping. The session will be about 30 to 45 minutes, and we'll have Q&A at the end, but you are invited to submit your questions at any time during the webinar via the Q&A tab in the panel, which should be above on your screen at the right, and we'll endeavor to answer as many of these questions as possible during the webinar. So do feel free to submit your questions at any time, and don't wait until the end. Plus, you can upvote any questions you particularly like to see answered. We will record the session and we will send out a link via email to this recording in the coming days. Finally, towards the end, actually no, from the start, we'll have a brief 4-question survey available to you to take at any time. So your input will help us improve, and we appreciate your feedback. Now, I'm pleased to introduce our first presenter, Manish. If you'd like to move to the next slide. And we should see that come up now. And yes, Manish, with his strong background in everything from strategy to developer relations, truly bridges the gap between the product and the people who use it. He joins us from Austin today. And we're also joined by Prasenjit, who is also a seasoned technology and product leader from our team at Sonar, who has a passion for building and scaling innovative AI products. But starting with Manish, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. Next slide. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining the webinar today. Thanks for taking the time. My name is Manish, and I'm going to kick things off with some introduction to SonarQube MCP Server. We launched our SonarQube MCP Server just about 3 or 4 weeks back, and I'm excited to share what it is and how it works and how you can benefit from it, how you can integrate it with your AI-native IDEs and agents. So let's get started. Next slide. All right, the plan for today is really simple, just 3 things, right? So we will start with understanding what MCP or Model Context Protocol is, just to set the context. It'll be a real quick introduction to Model Context Protocol. Next, I'll talk about SonarQube MCP Server, what it is, how you can use it, and things like that. What are the use cases it enables for you when you start using AI-native IDEs and agents. And next, we'll follow it up with a demo. So let's get started. So almost all of us are using AI to write code today. It is helping us turbocharge our software development. It is helping us write code faster than ever before. It seems that we are becoming very productive, but we are also seeing some challenges that come with faster speed of code generation. We are seeing that time saved writing code is essentially lost in some of the other tasks that we do as developers. Those tasks are like verifying the code that AI has written, and then sometimes you have to switch workflows, you have to switch context between your IDE and from your agent into your SonarQube or whatever tool that you're using to analyze your code, to verify your code. And then there is, integration with your rest of the tools in the AI SDLC like Jira and other tools that you use. How do you integrate with them, and how do you make it all work seamlessly? And then obviously there are code that AI produces is similar to what we produce as developers. It contains bugs and security issues. So on the right-hand side, this depicts what's happening in the world today. We are seeing the blue line shows the pace at which AI is writing code. the velocity at which code is being produced by AI tools is phenomenally high. But on the flip side, what is happening is there are bottlenecks that are being introduced. One big bottleneck that we are seeing from our customers and hearing from our customers is code verification. Automatic code reviews and manual code reviews, they have to be part of your verification layer. And if the code velocity is very high, it's not easy to we are seeing that customers are finding it hard to verify the code at the pace at which it's being written. So there's a gap between verification and the pace at which AI is writing code. So we'll talk about how we are going to address this and how some of these challenges will be resolved today with the MCP server. Next slide. So let's take a step back. Let's look at what is Model Context Protocol, also known as MCP. Actually, Model Context Protocol surprisingly was announced in November of 2024 by Anthropic. It's a protocol which became very popular suddenly in March or April timeframe of this year. For the first couple of months, it was not noticed by most developers, but eventually, when people found it, when they started using it, they started realizing the benefits of it. It has gained so much traction that today we have over 2,000, 3,000 model context protocol servers out there, which are available for you to use as part of your AI development tool chain. So, what is it? It's basically a universal translator between your AI agents and external tools. And external tools, when I say external tools, it's bringing the context from the external services and products such as MySQL database or GitHub or SonarQube into your agent to provide them with the rich context that they need to produce better code for you, right? So it's essentially a bridge providing a standard way of interfacing with resources, and the resources that you want to use with your agent to make it perform better, right? That's what Model Context Protocol does. It's a standard protocol, so it's a universal standard which is defined by Anthropic. It's one protocol that you use for your different integrations. It relies on natural language. So on one side you start querying your resources with natural language and you in your AI native IDEs, and then on the other side you're talking to tools that you're connected to, and it works across AI assistants and IDs, and it's a vendor neutral protocol, right? So pretty much everyone is using the same protocol to talk to agents and for the agents to communicate with the resources. There's also another protocol which we'll not be talking about is between agents. How do you talk? That's called agent to agent protocol, but that's not the scope today. Today we'll focus on model context protocol, and we'll see how it works and how SonarQube has implemented it and what benefits you get. Next slide. So a little bit more about model context protocol before we get into SonarQube MCP server. So what are the key functions of an MCP server? It's basically is a way protocol that helps you connect your LLMs to external resources. And like I mentioned, resources can be anything. It can be a MySQL database, it can be an Oracle database, it can be external API, it can be SonarQube, it can be any of the tools that you want to use with your LLMs, right? So it simplifies the interaction between LLMs and the two resources that you want to speak with. There's an API implementation that it enables. So on the left side, you basically use the MCP protocol. If you look at the diagram, on the left side, you have different MCP clients sitting inside an MCP host. They're using the MCP protocol to and sending the request to the MCP server, which then translates those requests to talk to the resources. So in case of if you're talking to a database and you want to use TCP communications, it translates your natural language prompts into TCP protocol and sends those requests to MySQL database. In case of SonarQube, basically you send API requests, you make calls to the SonarQube API via the MCP client using the MCP server. So in a sense, what it is doing is it is getting the context from SonarQube or your database or whatever resource you are working with and bringing that context to the agents and helping them improve their output. reduce hallucinations, produce better output, and things like that, right? So it's a standardized communication which you can again connect with different resources. Tools are basically defined as the interactions or the API calls that you perform to access the resources that you're connecting to. And then there are prompts. So those are the three key pieces when it comes to an MCP server implementation. Next slide. So I'm super excited to talk about MCP server, SonarQube MCP server. Like I said, we announced it earlier this in October. It's basically a free product, free solution. We have the source code available for it on our GitHub repository. So you have the source code. It is free. It is the official implementation of the model context protocol. It is basically designed to be a bridge between your AI agents and your AI native IDEs and SonarQube's trusted code analysis. So what does it do? So it's basically uh, enabling you to get better code outputs from your agentic IDEs. So as a developer, if you're using Cursor or Windsurf or GitHub Copilot or any of these IDEs, you can connect those IDEs with SonarQube MCP server, and then you can have a conversational integration between the two. So you can ask questions to SonarQube once the integration is done, and you can get real-time code quality analysis and feedback for the code that you're writing inside your IDs. It's a standardized way. It's a scalable solution. What this means is you don't have to context switch. For example, if there was no MCP server, how would your workflow look like? It would be basically you start typing code in, creating code in your Cursor IDE, and if you want to evaluate it, you would have to submit a pull request, and then that pull request would get analyzed by SonarQube, and the results would show back, would come back, and you would have to interpret those. So you had to do a little bit of a context switching if you were to use it without the MCP server. With the MCP server integration, you don't have to leave your IDE interface, or in case of CLIs, if you're using command line interface, you can stay within the interface and start proactively, looking at your code and asking SonarQube to analyze it and tell you about it, and it'll respond back with everything that it knows about your code. So this is a Docker based deployment. It's basically a single click Docker deployment that you will do of your MCP server. You configure it in one or two steps, and you're up and running. It can connect with both SonarQube server as well as SonarQube cloud. All you need to do is provide it with tokens, so that it can access the MCP server, has the access control permissions to access your server and cloud environment. And then it runs as a lightweight local container in your development environment. So typically the way developers work is they sit on their workstations. We all have our own laptops or workstations, and we run a local desktop on a local Docker container on our environment, configure it once, and then you're using Cursor or Windsurf or GitHub Copilot or any CLI. Once it's configured, you can start communicating with SonarQube MCP server. Next slide. So let's take a deeper look at the next layer as to how it actually does work, right? So on the right-hand side is an illustration, a diagram that shows how it works. So you have an MCP client, which can be Claude Code or Cursor or Devin or Windsurf or any of the CLI tools that you're using, AI agents or AI native IDs or CLIs that you're using. You have that configured to configure them to use the SonarQube MCP server, and then MCP server will make calls to SonarQube cloud or server, whatever you're using, and get your code quality and code security analysis done within your MCP client inside your Claude Code or Cursor. So an example here would be the agent query would be a natural language prompt inside your AI native IDE. It could be an example here says, are there any new vulnerabilities in my code file that I'm working on? This translation, this natural language prompt is sent to the MCP server, and it's basically converting that to an SonarQube API request, and makes that request on behalf of you, and then translates the results back and sends it back to the user. So you could say once you submit that prompt, what it happens is behind the tool call that it makes is search Sonar issues in projects and return me the vulnerabilities in this code file. So it gets the context of the file, it speaks with SonarQube server, and then it returns your results inside your editor without having you to leave your workflow at all. So that's a high level quick information about how it works. Let's get to the next slide. So what does this enable us to do basically? What are the use cases it opens up for us? There are 4 broad use cases, and this is not the exhaustive list, but these are 4 high level key use cases that it opens up for us. You can do an on-demand code analysis before you make your code commits, before you submit your pull request for commits, right? Number 1. Number 2, you can also check the project health of your SonarQube projects that you're analyzing using your natural language prompt inside your AI-native IDE. Number 3, you can do a comprehensive code quality and code security assessment of your project. You can ask it for all the things that you want to know about your code base by using a simple natural language prompt, right? And last, software composition analysis. This is something which is differentiated for us and something which we have added on top of the standard thing. If you remember, a couple of months back, we announced advanced security, SonarQube Advanced Security. With SonarQube Advanced Security, you get software composition analysis as well as advanced SAST. So the results of software composition analysis can also be, you can catch the details of your, SCAR results inside your AI native IDE. A good example will be coming up in the next slide. I'll talk about it, how we can use it with the SCAR as well. So next slide. So here, getting a bit more into the use cases, what are the features and key capabilities of SonarQube MCP Server? It's basically a way for you to ensure the code health, and for you to make sure that your code quality and code security for the AI generated code is not compromised, right? So there are 5 or 6 things listed here, and there's more you can do with it, but I'm calling out 5 or 6 things. You can actually look at our GitHub repo and the docs and see what else it can do for you. But it essentially, if you send a tool request saying analyze code snippet, the code snippet that you're working on in your ID can be analyzed for code quality and code security issues. You can search for issues and do some project management work with respect to your projects that you have on SonarQube, which are configured for analysis. You can get quality gate information directly from your IDE and check the status of your quality gates, and check the retrieve some metrics like code coverage and duplication and things like that right within your IDE. Advanced security is what I've just talked about. If you have advanced security enabled on your SonarQube server and cloud, you can also search for your dependency risks. So assuming your project is using some open source libraries, whether they are vulnerable or not, you can get that information directly in your ID as part of a query that you make to SonarQube using the MCP server. And then there are a couple of other things that you could do, like instance administration, as well as exploring a code rules and getting some more information about your source code, etc., from SonarQube. There's some more tools that are available. You can look at them once you get a chance to play with it or install with it. Yeah, so it's a pretty powerful tool, simple, easy to use. Set it up once and start making your code better, right? So that's all in terms of your high level overview of what SonarQube MCP server is. Let's go to the next slide. And yes, it does work with pretty much all the tools and platforms that are out there that you might be using. This is not a comprehensive list. We keep adding more and more support. But today we do support AI assistants like the entire Claude family, including Claude Code and Claude Desktop. We support GitHub Copilot, obviously. We support Amazon Q Developer. And then Devin, the AI engineer, is also supported. In terms of AI native IDs, we do support Cursor, Windsurf, Zed, Kiro, and some of the other IDs that might be coming out. We'll be ready to add more support as you need. If there's anything missing, do let us know, and we can build integrations very easily for those agentic tools that you're using. these days, command line interfaces are getting extremely popular. In particular, Codex CLI is getting a lot of traction, and a lot of our customers are asked for Codex CLI support, and we added it recently to the MCP server. So now we have Codex CLI, Gemini CLI, as well as GitHub Copilot CLI, all supported with our MCP server. And the best thing is you can get this MCP server from several places. You can get it from our GitHub repository. You can build your own, image if you like to. It's the source code is available. But the easiest option for you is to go to the Docker MCP hub and just run the Docker container with a single command and just pass it the tokens, and you're good to go. It's also available from the Anthropic MCP marketplace as well as mcp.so if you want to, if you're using those marketplaces. Next slide. All right, I have gone through the slides quickly. I think the best part is when you see it in action, and I have my colleague here, Prasanjit Sarkar, who will give a live demo of this tool. So fingers crossed, the live demo works. How things are. But let's take it away, Prasanjit.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Manish. So I'll be unsharing this and then sharing a couple of other tabs. So share the screen and yeah. So first thing first, how we need to navigate for the deployment. As Manish mentioned, that there's a pretty quick way to get started, and I just want to start from the docs itself. Like, how do you get started from the docs? So this is our sonarsource.com website. From there, I can just click on the product, and in the high level, I have this MCP server right there. Click on the right MCP server. So this is our landing page for the MCP server. You just have the deploy for free, and which is going to take you to the doc site. So clicking on that is going to take you to the doc site. And then, if you just scroll down, then you have all your documentation right there built in. The good news is that we have the setup command also built in right there within this platform itself. So you see this MCP server setup in your IDE, and then you see this, setup in the Cloud Code or Codex CLI, Cursor, and all the other stuff that Manish mentioned. So for today's demo, I'm going to use Cursor as an AI-native IDE to install MCP server and configure, and then show you how exactly do you need to interact with that. So expand this setup in Cursor, and then you have two options. One is you can connect it, and install it or configure it with the SonarQube Cloud, or you can do it with the SonarQube server as well. So I'm going to do it with the SonarQube Cloud. So you see this link in right there. If you have Cursor installed, you see this command is built in right there. So you just click on that. It will open up the Cursor window, which I will show you in a second. I need to unshare and share that again. So unshare, and now I'll be going to the Cursor here. Yeah. So now you see this Cursor screen. So here you have the MCP name, which is SonarQube MCP Server, and here's the command that Manish mentioned about it. So you put down this command. Here you have SonarQube token. So this is the token that you get it from your SonarQube Cloud administration window, and then you also need to pass on your org name. So I'm not going to do it right now because these two are sensitive information. So you just need to replace that and click on install. When you click on install, you will be seeing the tools is going to be enabled right here. I'm sorry. So you'll see that SonarQube MCP server. Then there are 13 different tools which are enabled. I'm going to click on cancel, and I'm going to show you expanding this. So you see this, all of these different commands as Manish mentioned, which is like, hey, I can change the Sonar issue status. I can figure it out what is my quality gate status and all of that. And these are the calls that will be called from the from the agentic stuff. Now, let me close it down and let me open up a project. So I'm going to open up a deeper SaaS demo for, yeah, so it's, okay, so you see this, I opened up this one, this project. So this is my file, user controller.java. My tools are already enabled that you have seen. And okay, it's asking me to do the configure binding. That's fine. I'm going to do the binding. So this is binded there. Now I'm going to open up this chat and then say, can you list the vulnerabilities in this file using Sonar? And I just clicked enter, and it's going to planning the next move. It's going to find out that, okay, it does have the, Sonar MCP. And yeah, so I need to add this a search SonarQube project to allow list. I'm going to say the yes, add. So it found out that there are 6 different projects enabled in my org, but it found out that this is the project. So now it's add the MCP list, MCP tool to the allow list. I'm going to click on that, and now it is analyzing and finding it out that if there are any problem in this code. It's taking unusual time, but yeah, it found out two issues in here. And you see that it has analyzed and it is giving me all the information about it. So it has thought for like 13 seconds. It told me that I analyzed this. And there are issues that it found out that 2 different issues, and in here I can click on show more, and I can see that there are issues with the rule key is Java S1598, and it's a critical severity problem. And then I have found 2 different issues which are critical. Now I saw this, and then what I can do is I can use I can chat more. Like, for example, can you tell me the quality gate status for this project using Sonar? It's fetching that. I'm going to add this into the allow list. So it's going to create a tool call, and quality gate status is showing none for the deeper SaaS demo project. So now there is no quality gate state that is configured or associated with that, and that's why it's showing me none. So I can chat like this, continuously, and I can figure it out what's going on in there. Now I can change the status of, let's say, I can change the status of one particular critical vulnerability, saying that it is accepted, and I am accepting that, yes, this is a problem. So I can figure it out that, hey, there is this rule key, and I'm going to say that, can you change the status of this issue as accepted in Sonar? As doing a new move, changing the status, and you see that it's actually trying to search for the project to the allow list. Found 8 different issues, find out the issue status, and I'm going to click on allow to change the status of that particular issue. So it is going to be treated as accepted. Now here you see a little pop-up saying that it has changed. The quality gate is now green and it's now showing up. And you can click on this and you can see the status of this in the SonarQube cloud as well. It will show you as accepted into when you go to the issue tab. So yeah, this is the way that you can chat with it. And as you have seen that it's pretty easy to install just one command, and you just need to supply the SonarQube Cloud's token and the org ID, and that's it. You're done with the one Docker command. It's up and running, 13 different tools, and then you can start chatting here. And it's just that one ID, but you can do the same thing with, let's say Claude Code or Codex CLI or Gemini CLI or other CLIs as well, where we have support for. So yeah, it is overall this agentic IDs where we do have our MCP support, and you don't need to switch back and forth to your SonarQube window, saying trying to see what are the different issues, how do I search for that, rather than if you're using if you're trying to generate the code from the ID itself, you can just do it from the command. You can do it from the chat window itself. All right, so with that, I am going to stop the share and going back to the other one. I'm going to share it one more time. Share screen. And there you go. So, Manish, over to you.
Do you want to wrap it up? It's fine. Or I can do
Okay,
it.
fair enough. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have all of these resources available. You can see that we do have, as Manish mentioned, that our Docker image is right there in Docker Hub, which is MCP/SonarQube. Our documentation website is docs.sonarsource.com, and then you can see that from the main page, you can navigate to the MCP server documentation. Or as Manish also mentioned, that if you find out that there is any problem, or if you want any more tool support, for example, or any other new ID support or CLI support, you can open up an issue in our GitHub. So that's github.com/sonarsource/sonarqube and MCP server. Our product web page is right there in sonarsource.com. Go to the products and then MCP server. We do have our blog as well for the SonarQube server. Our community is very active in terms of other stuff. So it's community.sonarsource.com. So yeah, and as I said, reiterating the same thing, install the Docker image, get the token, run the MCP server, and configure your AI assistant. That's it. That's how you just start. So it's 4 different steps, very small, like within a couple of minutes, your MCP is up and running, and then you start chatting away with that. You can probably do a lot of automation with that, run some automation, and figure it out that what are the different. What is my quality gate with the new code that I've integrated within that? And that's what Manish mentioned, that you don't need to do a PR to figure it out, that okay, what's going on. You can you can chat in your IDE, or you can the same chat in your CLI as well, and you can ask that what's the status of this, what are the different vulnerabilities in here. And then obviously, because of the the code, either overall code or new code, we are continuously analyzing the code that you are generating as well. So it's like a live system where you can get the feedback right within the developer environment where you are right now.
Yep. Thank you, Prasenjit, for the demo. And
Yeah,
do you have any
thanks.
questions?
Yeah, thanks, Prasenjit. Thanks, Manish. Thanks to you both. And yes, we had a lot of questions, actually. I'll just try and summarize some of them. So there were a lot of questions about, what are the prerequisites? And obviously, the version of SonarQube Cloud is fine, but people were talking about which plan is it available on, and also the SonarQube server version as well. I don't know if you want to address those.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah, Prasenjit, keep me honest and correct me if I'm misspeaking. But MCP server, like I mentioned at the top of the call, MCP protocol was announced in November 2024. So you should use, we haven't tested the older versions of SonarQube Server beyond the newer versions which we released this year. So if you want to use with SonarQube Server, I would encourage you to be on the newer versions, 2025.3 and later preferably. I believe 2025.1 and later work. We haven't tested it with the older versions. They may work, they may not work. I'm not sure. But officially, if you want to get support from us, and then you have to be on a newer version, which is post the announcement of the MCP protocol. In terms of cloud, it works with the free plan as well as the team and enterprise plans. Same with SonarQube Server. It works with developer edition, enterprise edition, as well as data center edition. So it works with all of them. The calls that you can make to the with MCP server to SonarQube will depend. I mean, certain calls will not work if you don't have advanced security. So if you try to search for SCAR risks or dependency risks, and if you don't have advanced security which is available on top of enterprise plans, then obviously that call will not work. But the ones that are supported within your plan, whichever plan you're using, should work just fine. In terms of requirements, it's a Docker image, so fairly light. You can it's not too expensive on resources. You can run it on your laptops, so it's fairly light. It is built using Java, and it does, if you build your own image and things like that, you will need JDK 21 and later. Did I miss anything, Prasenjit?
No, just one quick. I just answered one other question, which is aligned with the answer that you just said. As of now, this MCP server is self-hosted, means individual developer will run the Docker image on their own laptop, and have the SonarQube token to talk to the cloud or the server. But we are also actively looking to see if there is a better way to support it, which means that remote MCP server, which is probably will be hosted somewhere, and then you can a central repository, and then developers can just consume from there. So yeah, we are looking through that option as well. So it's a good feedback that you have asked for. But as of now, it's self-hosted, but we are looking at the remote option as well.
Cool.
Great. Maybe just a final question for either of you, perhaps. If there was one thing you'd want people to take away from today's webinar, what would it be?
We at Sonar, we believe in vibe, then verify. So you should use AI to help you write code, improve your speed and improve your productivity, 100%, no doubt about that. But we have done a lot of evaluation of all the LLMs, and you can find the evaluation of LLMs that we have done on our website. There's a state of LLMs report or personality report for LLMs, where we evaluated each of the state-of-the-art models. Despite being very good and very fast in writing code, they do introduce issues in their code. There are security issues. There are dependencies that they add which are either obsolete or not appropriate for the task, or there are code quality issues. There are bugs in it. So you do want to verify everything that you're writing. And I think that's where SonarQube and SonarQube MCP server and cloud and everything else comes in, right? We do want to make sure that the work that you're doing doesn't end up in more work for you 2 months down the line. By increasing technical depth or trying to figure out things that AI broke, which looked apparently to be good, but they had some serious issues in it. So make sure you verify the code that you're working on. So whichever tool you use, that's a fundamental belief. Verify everything that AI is producing, at least as of today.
So vibe, then verify. That's a great message to finish on, Manish. So thank you everybody for joining today. We had a lot of questions. We answered as many as we could. If there's anything that you still want answered, as Prasenjit mentioned, head to our community. It's a very active community where there'll be lots of people happy to answer your questions or to help you out if you have technical difficulties. But yeah, thanks again for attending. Thanks for completing the survey. And we really appreciate your time and feedback. And thanks, and see you next time. Goodbye.